Until recently, when men spoke of hockey players, very likely they had their origins in Canada. It was from this country that all of the good hockey players came. They would talk of a young boy and the high promise he showed. This, though, is what he was born to be, a young and eager face leaving the joys of boyhood behind him. Now he is in a crowded arena, snaking his body around giant defenders. A shake of the head, a jiggle of the shoulders, and he is skating at full speed. He flies past the defender and scores. And then there is no longer a crowd in the arena, but a noise engulfing it. Once it was all Canadian. Today, the Canadians remain, but it is also Czechoslovakia and the Soviet Union and the United States and Sweden and Finland. Now, it is the Canada Cup, and the origins are worldwide. Ottawa is the seat of government in Canada, and it was there that Team Canada and Finland were greeted with the pomp and pageantry normally associated with international competition. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police and flags like these. Sweden. Czechoslovakia. The Soviet Union. The United States of America. Finland. And Canada. Here's Canada's Governor General Jules Leger. And pretty girls with flags representing Canada's 10 provinces. Let's watch. Finland's young and inexperienced hockey players had heard about these mighty Canadians all of their young lives. Playing against these great professionals may have been one of their special dreams. But when they did finally meet on this September night, the dream rapidly became stark reality. It seems that David doesn't always slay Goliath. It was 4-0 before Finland finally scored a goal. Then it was 6-1 and finally 11-2. Canada had brought its very best players together for this first Canada Cup. Several, like Montreal goaltender Ken Dryden and Boston defenseman Brad Park, were unable to compete because of injuries. But aside from Dryden and Park and one or two more, these were the best of Canada's professionals awaiting the start of the game. Team Finland, of course, didn't come to Canada to lose. At the same time, they themselves realized there was little hope of winning. Their aim was to be competitive and to learn, because it is in playing against the better, more experienced teams that a Team Finland can learn and improve and prepare for better, more gratifying tomorrows. Governor General Leger drops the puck for the team captains, and the tournament is underway. The big scorer on the night was Richard Martin. 3 goals. like this one in the first period when Guy Lapointe passes to Guy Lafleur, who shoots. Martin is there for the rebound. Or this goal by Martin, which came in the first minute of the third period. By that time, Canada had made it very clear that there were not to be any surprises in this first tournament game. Marcus Matson, a 19-year-old student playing his first game of international hockey outside his own country, had replaced Antti Leppänen after Canada's first 3 goals. Only 19, yet here he was in a great and strange land, stopping a shot from Dennis Potvin. Now, Gilbert Perreault, on the face-off, wins it and sends it directly to Potvin. The pass catches Martin, who slashed the puck beyond Matson. That goal made it 7-1. Now watch it again. Perreault wins the face-off. Back to Potvin. To Martin. A big shot. Or how about this goal by Martin? This time he carries the puck and passes to Perreault, and Matson is no match for him. Gilbert Perreault made it look all so easy. He draws the goalie out of the net. There's Martin waiting and getting the pass for his 3rd goal of the game. This goal by Bobby Hull made it 4-0. His great speed sweeps him in, and beyond the finished defense, one motionless shot went behind Matson. Here it is again. Here's Hull, beyond the defenseman. A snap of the wrists, and the crowd explodes. It was no contest early in the game, but when hockey players get together, it is not a game until it is over. Until then, the competition continues, as it does late in the first period when Esa Peltonen carries beyond Team Canada's defenseman Potvin. The pass back to Lasiak Sanin, and Finland has the first of its 2 goals. Kerry Mikkonen was to score the other early in the 3rd period. This is the Montreal Forum, home of the mighty Canadiens, a team rich with a history of winning. It is a professional hockey arena where legendary names like Rocket Richard and Jean Beliveau have played. But now it is the world champion Czechoslovakia and the fresh young Soviets with a lot to prove.
Forward, the numero 9, number 9, Victor Stalinov. The numero 10, number 10, Alexander Malsek. The numero 6, number 19, Helmut Balbiri.
It is Czechoslovakia that scores first, however, when Milan Novi takes the puck at his own zone. The pass to defenseman Pradisek Pospisil, and back to Novi for the goal. Czechoslovakia is ahead 1-0. Here it is on the replay. Novi in his own zone, across to Pospisil, back to Novi, a shot, rebound, goal, Czechoslovakia. A goal by Pospisil had moved the Czechs ahead 2-0 when the Soviets struck for this great short-handed goal by their gallant captain, Alexander Maltsev. He has a great talent for puck control at full speed, as he shows here. Pulling it in and then going around the defense. Then with a great shot, he beats goalie Yuri Halachek. Watch the great move put on by this cagey Soviet veteran Maltsev. That made it 2-1. And the Czechs came sweeping back inside the Soviet blue line, looking to regain their 2-goal lead. The shot did not connect, and the Soviets break out. One of their new young stars is Helmut Balderas from Riga. Shalamov fed him. A long pass and a score, beating Holacek on the short side. The Balderas goal made it 3-2, with the Soviets pressing furiously for the tying goal. Perhaps they pressed too hard. Shalamov, another one of their great young prospects, fell heavily into the boards with his shoulder and needs help from team captain Maltsev and other Soviet players. The Soviets were to learn later that Shalamov had suffered a dislocated shoulder that put him out of the series for good. The pain is etched on Shalamov's face. And later, pain of a different sort for the entire Soviet team. After the injury, the Czechoslovaks swept back 33 seconds after the Balderas goal to regain their 2-goal margin. Bohuslav Stastny, number 12, was the man who got it back for Czechoslovakia and for all intents and purposes locked up the outcome to the world champions, beating Tretiak from close in. One of 30 shots Tretiak had to handle during the game. Holacek blocked 18. 2 days later on the same Montreal Forum ice, the Soviets were back, this time against Sweden. And it wasn't long before the Olympic champions discovered Sweden, strengthened by several professionals like Borje Salming, was to be every bit as difficult as Czechoslovakia had been. Salming, an all-star defenseman of the National Hockey League, had this goal disallowed when number 11, Tord Lundstrom, swept through the crease and took goalie Tretiak out of the play. Watch it again now on the replay. Lundstrom right there, but he took out Tretiak. But Alf Nilsson was left alone on this play in the 8th minute of the period to move Sweden into a 1-0 lead. Nilsson, another professional, started the play with a pass to Anders Hedberg. And then Tretiak, when he made the move, had it behind him, 1-0. Here's the replay now. It's Nilsson to Hedberg. The Soviets forgot about Nilsson. Now he gets the puck again, moves in, forced Tretiak into the first move, and it's easy after that. It is always a mistake for teams to fall back to protect the lead. It was a mistake for Sweden. And here the Soviets moved back into contention, and Maltsev got a shot away midway in the second period, and Kapustin was there for the rebound. The Swedish defenseman Sjöberg tried to get in front of Maltsev's shot, but couldn't block it. Artie Astrom makes the first stop, but Kapustin was there, 2-1. It's anybody's game after a goal by Balderas, but the Soviets came right back again, and once more, Maltsev does all the work on the second goal by Kapustin. Repnath started the play, fed to Maltsev, the shot, the rebound, Kapustin once again, the Soviet score. It started here with Repnath. Great work by Maltsev as they swept in. The shot and Kapustin's rebound goal to move the Soviets ahead for the first time in the game. It is 3-2 for the Soviets, and time is running out on the plucky Swedes. One mistake, though, this time by the Soviets, and it's a new game again. The play begins when Kapustin is pushed off the puck by Roland Eriksson. Salming, easily the best player for Sweden in the entire tournament, is here to get the puck over to Anders Hedberg. He scores, and the Swedish team empties the bench in a demonstration of pure joy. It was matched by a standing ovation from the Montreal Forum crowd. Let's look at it again. The quick shot by Hedberg to the short side, and the celebration begins. The Swedish players, the crowd of the Montreal Forum rising to their feet. A great goal, a great comeback. It's Team Canada versus Team USA. Steve Jensen was in the penalty box when Bobby Orr went the length of the ice before the pass to Marcel Dion to Phil Esposito, and 1-0 Canada. Bobby Orr, who had only played 10 games between 2D operations last season, set the goal up with his cautious rink-length skate to Dion and Esposito's goal. Team Canada got other goals from Pete Mahovlich and Bobby Hull in the first period, but here's Kurt Bennett starting a play in his own end that got the U.S. team back into the game. Yogi Vachon caught on the long shot by Ahern. Here it is again. Bennett up to Fred Ahern, and the score was 3-1. This is action now in the second period. Even the great hockey players make mistakes. Bobby Hull had just come on to replace Bill Barber, gave the puck blindly to Steve Jensen of the U.S., and Vachon was beaten cleanly by the young left winger. Barber skates away, replaced by Hull. At the blue line, look out, Jensen a clear path to the goal. Vachon was beaten. But what hurt a lot more was an injury to Team Canada defenseman Jim Watson later in the period. Gary Sargent, the U.S. defenseman, shot and caught Watson from Philadelphia flush in the face. His cheekbone fractured in 3 places. Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto was the site for this Team Canada-Sweden game, where Börje Salming, who plays for the professional Toronto Maple Leafs, was greeted with a thunderous standing ovation. On and on it goes. But now the ovation is for Bobby Hull, who scores the first goal. Bobby Orr had set the play up. To Dion, to Esposito, and off Hull's skate. Watch the play form up now on the replay. Across to Dion, to Espo. And there was Bobby Hull to tick it in. This was the first game of the tournament for Toronto's Lanny McDonald and Montreal's Bob Gainey, both noted as hard-hitting players who use the body a lot. The Swedes are stopped short of the blue line, and McDonald sweeps in. His shot is stopped by Astrom, who feeds the puck right out to Gainey. Montreal left winger, who scored only 15 goals with the Stanley Cup champions last year, put it in. Here's the play forming up. McDonald's shot. Astrom saves it, but right out to Gainey, who's alone, and it's 2-0. Gainey scored another goal in the third period. Team Canada won this game 4-0. And here's Dion and Peter Mahovlich combining to score the third goal late in the second period. A wide shot by Steve Shutt. Another wide shot by Marcel Dion. Mahovlich went after it, passed to Dion without looking, and the puck went in off a Swedish defender. Dion. There goes Mahovlich. Getting it right back to Marcel Dion. His shot, 3-0. The mighty Czechoslovakian team came to Philadelphia for their game with Team USA, heavily favored to win. When the idea of the Canada Cup was in its formative stage, there was some reluctance about the suggestion that a team comprised wholly of United States citizens, or those born there, should be a part of this tournament. How could a team like this be competitive? Would the United States team be an embarrassment to the Canada Cup tournament? In fact, the United States was indeed competitive. It won one game and tied another with Czechoslovakia. This game after leading 4-2. The first USA goal was scored by Alan Hangsleben. It came 3 minutes after the Czechs had opened the scoring in the second period while Team USA was short. Hangsleben did all the work on this goal. The original shot came from the boards and was stopped by Yuri Havlicek. But the American forward just kept on going and caught up with the puck after he fell into the area in front of the Czechoslovakian goaltender. As you see right now, he snapped the backhander and put it in past Havlicek for the U.S. goal. Then Craig Patrick followed with 2 quick goals. The second goal came less than a minute later when play moved out of the U.S. end of the rink. After a good stop by Mike Curran, Patrick was sent in alone to give the U.S. a 3-1 lead. Watch Patrick on the replay. You'll see him stumble slightly in the clear after grabbing the pass from Butch Williams. Havlicek came out a bit, tried to cut the angle down, but was beaten cleanly. 2 nights later in Montreal, Czechoslovakia and Team Canada met in what generally is regarded as one of the finest hockey games ever played. Czechoslovakia won 1-0, and the reason only 1 goal was scored was because of stops like these by Rogi Vachon at the 12-minute mark of the second period. Peter Stastny had set up Yuri Holik in a circle off to one side of Vachon. The Canadian goalie beat him purely on instinct. Watch how the KG veteran Vachon cut off the angle and brings his hand up. But Vladimir Zarilla also was breaking Team Canada's hearts with stops like these in the second period. Clark won the face-off and got it back to Lapointe, who was wide with his shot. Potvin fed Reggie Leach, and he was stopped by Vladimir Zarilla. And the action moved end to end. Here's Leach, wide. Then Esposito was stopped, and a great save by Zarilla on a backhander. Leach again, all around the Czechoslovakia net, but no goal for Team Canada. But Vachon couldn't stop Novi at 15:41 of the third period. Martinek starts to play inside the blue line. The pass to Augusta, swept to Vachon's right, and the puck went back to Novi and into the goal. A 1-0 victory for Czechoslovakia, a stunning upset. Wife of Team USA center Kurt Bennett with the U.S. national anthem before the face-off of the U.S.-Soviet Union game in Philadelphia. The Americans had been given a good chance against the Soviets, coming off a high, the 4-4 tie 2 nights earlier against Czechoslovakia in the same Philadelphia Spectrum. And they put the pressure on early in the game against the Soviets, but the Soviets prevailed 5-0 with exceptional work like this. Vikulov started the play to Zlutkov, across to Alexandrov, and the finishing touch into the United States net. Alexandrov tapping the pass from Zlutkov in. Just look at the Soviet passing on this goal. Vikulov, Zlutkov, Alexandrov, back to Vikulov. Zlutkov, finally to Alexandrov. Beautiful. Mike Polic, number 33, the property of the Montreal Canadiens, had a good crack at Tretiak with only the 4th shot of the period by Team USA. But again, the Soviets turned it around. This time, Zlutkov to Vikulov and over to Alexandrov once again for a Soviet goal. You can't help but admire the confidence of that line with its passing patterns. You'll see it on the replay. Not a flutter of hesitation. Everything is choreographed to absolute perfection. That same line came back for another goal before the period was over. Vikulov getting his 3rd assist on the play, beginning it by sweeping around Mike Milbury, Team USA defenseman. Vikulov carrying it in. Then a chance right in front for Alexandrov. But off the stick of Zlutkov, in went the Soviet goal. Here it is again. Right boards. Vikulov to Alexandrov. The stop by Curran, but the rebound in from Zlutkov. The USA did not score in the game, but Dean Talafas came very close on this play in the 3rd period. The play was started by Rick Chartrand with a great save by goaltender Vladislav Tretiak. What the play amounted to really was a battle of wits between Talafas and Tretiak. The U.S. player Talafas thought that Tretiak might go down on the play. With a great scoring chance, he shot too high, and Tretiak held his ground. What the repeated chances by the U.S. did to their players was to frustrate them. It was only frustration that prompted Talafas, who rarely uses aggressiveness, to run at the Soviet defender a moment later. But then the frustration turned to ugliness. Hang Slevin attacked Alexander Gusev for no apparent reason. Gusev goes to his knees while the U.S. player rains punches on him until he's finally restrained by linesman John D'Amico. The Soviets 5, the USA nothing, as Team USA displayed frustration of all kinds in the late minutes. This is Quebec City, where Czechoslovakia got a goal from Martinek at 11:03 of the 2nd period, but ran headlong into big trouble when Bubla was penalized in 1905, and then Augusta got one with only 1 second remaining in the period. The Swedes forced the play directly from the face-off. The Czechs clear, but the Swedish power play on the ice forms up in its own zone. Sjoberg sends it up to Nielsen. Then over to Borja Salming for the goal. The play was launched by number 14, Eriksson. On the replay, he gets it over to Nielsen. And Nielsen, with great work, set up Salming, for a tremendous shot. Börje Salming was to be Sweden's top player of the night. With Maciek in the penalty box, he came back to score the game's winning goal. Once again, it was a matter of the Swedish power play being too much for the Czechoslovaks to handle. Sjöberg 7 and Salming 5 control the play from the points. And at the center of the ice. Then Salming, inside the circle, ripped a shot that beat Zarella and put it away for Sweden. Börje Salming, with the great moves we've seen him execute on the National Hockey League, scored as pretty a goal as you'll ever see in Canada Cup hockey. Team Canada had lost only one of its first 4 games. Yet if it hoped to move on to the best-of-3 final against Czechoslovakia, it had to at least tie the Soviet Union in Toronto. This was the scene as the teams lined up for their national anthems. It had been a difficult series for the Soviets, losing and tying their first 2 games. But in the crowd, Pierre-Elliott Trudeau cheering Team Canada with millions of Canadians from coast to coast. And early in the game, the first big break, Bobby Hull, in pursuit of a pass from Phil Esposito, got hauled down by Soviet captain Alexander Maltsev. Soviet penalty. And so for the first time, Team Canada's power play was in effect. Bobby Orr launched the play up to Gilbert Perreault, to Bobby Hull. Perreault inside the blue line. Here's Hull. And the shot just deflected by Luchenko, the Soviet defenseman. Now it's back to Potvin. Potvin from the point, right through, and Team Canada has the first goal of the day, a deflection by Gilbert Perreault. Here it is on the replay. Defenseman Potvin to Guy Lafleur. Then back to Potvin. His shot, and Perreault deflects it home. A little more than 3 minutes later, Vikulov starts to play for the Soviets to get them back in the game. A shot by Alexandrov is blocked. The rebound. A backhander finds the open side. Tretiak is known as one of the world's great goaltenders, and he showed why many times during this game. Here's Mahavlich with a great setup in front of the goal. Again, Tretiak was there on both occasions to smother the puck. Tretiak, the same tough goalie Team Canada has faced so many times in the past. Big stops like these are often the difference between winning and losing a game. Lafleur is stopped. Another chance, and Schutt is stopped. Tretiak down and in control. This game is the first time that Gilles Perreault had played on a line with Hull, and it was Perreault's skating and the all-round pressure exerted by the line that moved Canada ahead to stay. The goal by Hull came shortly past the 17-minute mark of the first period. Now on the replay, you'll see how it happened. The persistent checking of the Hull-Perreault line paid off for Team Canada. Perreault getting it back to his left winger, and there was no chance for Tretiak. The Philadelphia line of Clark, Leach, and Barber finally gave Team Canada some breathing room. First, with forechecking by Clark, resulted in a loose puck along the boards. Then, the play that went in. A deflection by Barber past Tretiak. Team Canada had never lost to the Soviets at Maple Leaf Gardens, and this night was no exception. Nikulov left Clark alone to start the play. Then the deflection, and it was time to celebrate for Team Canada. And time for the final series. A best-of-3 between Canada and Czechoslovakia. Rogi Vachon was probably smiling behind his mask when Hull picked up Bohuslav Everman deep in the Team Canada zone and knocked him down, starting a play that results in Team Canada's first goal. Larry Robinson got the puck to Hull. Hull to Perreault. Pulling away and beating Zorilla from a sharp angle. We'll see this play again. Watch Bobby Hull at the blue line, passing to Gilles Perreault. He swings into the circle and in one motion, lashed the puck through the legs of a surprised Zorilla. How about this one by Team Canada, which starts with Daryl Sittler facing off against Peter Stastny. Guy Lapointe has it behind the net. Waits. Gets it across to Dennis Potvin. Ahead to Gainey, who missed the pass. Would have been icing had the puck not touched the Czechoslovakian player at center ice. Sittler raced after it, worked for it, and got it to Potvin, who scored. Daryl Sittler scored 6 goals in one game for Toronto last season, and was one of the hardest working players on Team Canada 1976. Watch him work for the puck. Out to Potvin, and a goal. Milan Chalupa was in the penalty box when Orr's goal gave Team Canada a 3-0 lead. Once again, Orr working with Esposito. Soft backhander in behind Zorilla. Team Canada in complete control in Game 1 of the best-of-3 Canada Cup final. The Czech defenseman Machak gave Orr entirely too much room. He figured probably the defenseman would pass to Esposito. He made a mistake, and he paid the price. It's 3-0 now, and Lafleur goes in alone, but he's shot wide. Orr has a chance. But Bobby Orr was stopped by Zorilla. Mahavlich to shot. Another stop. The Czechs fail to clear. Bobby Orr is there again. Lafleur did not miss that time. Lafleur's first goal of the Canada Cup tournament. Halifax to Vancouver Island. Canada was happy. Here's shot, partially blocked by Machak. Orr was right there to grab the rebound and score. Novi was in the penalty box for Czechoslovakia when Orr scored Canada's 5th goal midway in the 3rd period. Esposito won the faceoff. The puck went down to Reggie Leach. Then back to Bobby Orr. Orr ahead to Barber. Back to Orr. Goal. It appeared Halicek, the Czechoslovakian goalie, never saw the shot. Final score, 6-0. This is the Forum in Montreal, Game 2, and Gilbert Perreault promptly gave Canada a 1-0 lead. It was set up by Potvin and Lafleur. Perreault got the pass near center ice and dropped the puck, faking Halachek into the open side. Phil Esposito made it 2-0 less than 2 minutes later. He centered the line, including Mahavlich and Shutt. It was a strange goal. After a face-off in the Czech zone, it brought the puck across the blue line. It was left for Esposito to pick it clean. It appeared that nobody had displayed great interest in going after the puck. Phil Esposito, always the scoring opportunist. It was there for him to claim and score. Halachek was then replaced by Zarilla. Barber in the penalty box midway in the second period, when the Czechs slashed Canada's lead in half. Novi sweeping across the line. The Czechs controlling play. And in it went. Beating Vachon for the first Czechoslovakian goal. On the replay, it goes down to the corner. Pollock got it across to Novi, and in it went. The Czechs were in contention. Chalupa behind his own goal in the third period ahead to Yaroslav Puzar. Puzar fools everybody, beating Vachon on the short side and tying the game 2-2. Only one Team Canada player, Bobby Orr, was back waiting for Puzar's move, and he beat him and Vachon too. Milan Catchkill is in the penalty box for elbowing 5 minutes later. Orr, cross-check from behind. The crowd is in an uproar when no penalty is called. There's Orr, sweeping in. The cross-check, and down he goes. On the face-off, it's Bobby Clark. Chalupa wins it for a minute, then lost it to Bobby Hull. Bobby Hull shoots. Clark on the rebound scores. The Czechs careless in their own zone, resulting in a Team Canada goal. Chalupa reached for the puck but can't get control. Zarilla stopped Hull's shot, but not Clark's. The tying goal came at 15:01 with Potvin in the penalty box for Canada. Martinek near the blue line. Novi at the edge of the circle. Behind the net, back to the right point, where Matchak shoots. Vachon got a piece of it, but Augusta pops it in. There's the puck going back to Matchak at the blue line. The shot, easy goal for Augusta. Czechoslovakia came back with another goal at the 16-minute mark. Barber scored at 17:48 for Canada. Now the teams are in the 12th minute of overtime, and Dion got the puck to Sittler for the winning goal. Darryl Sittler in one motion ends the Canada Cup. McDonald, Orr, all leaping on Darryl Sittler against the boards as the Montreal Forum explodes with noise. Scotty Bowman is on the ice. Bobby Crom. Tournament director Alan Eagleson. Canada's Prime Minister Trudeau standing amid the bedlam applauding with the rest of the fans. This is what the tournament is all about. Teams competing with honor. When at long last it's over, the emotions soar and there's a release of joy and passion. After all the hard work, all the sacrifice and dedication, the high and low moments, the Canada Cup for now belongs to Canada. Canada with 2 consecutive wins in the best-of-3 final series against Czechoslovakia to win the Canada Cup. Not since Paul Henderson's goal in Moscow in 1972 has one goal electrified Canadians from coast to coast in international hockey. Darryl Sittler, the hero of 1976, with his Canada Cup winning goal in overtime. And this is how it was won. Sittler with the puck around Chalupa's legs, who almost stopped him, then moving in toward the Czech net, making a fake, going to his left, and sliding it past Zarilla in one fluid motion for the game-winning goal. The time, 11:33 of overtime, in a gripping, exciting finale that must have felt like an eternity to everyone involved, the losers as well as the victors. But were there losers on this night? Here, in a moving demonstration of goodwill never before viewed in North America, Team Canada and Czechoslovakian players swap sweaters while the crowd roars its approval. They had both played hard, they had both played well. And what better way to salute each other than in this exchange of uniforms? They all represented so well. This is what the gallant competition was all about. This is the Canada Cup, and all of those who competed for it bring majesty to hockey. A game for the unflinching ones. A game for competitors.